Welcome back to our talk on manners. I'm John Patrick Hickey, and we're going to talk a little bit about manners and our social structure. How manners affects and the lack of manners affects our social structure and our interacting. You see, manners is often thought about as something being old-fashioned, something that doesn't really matter. Matter of fact, when people hear that you're going to do a talk on manners, a lot of times it's just kind of like, why? Does this even matter? Is this even important? Do people pay attention to things like this? You know what the answer is? No, they don't. And that is one of our problems. When you look at how people react, I often hear people complain and are concerned about how people treat one another. People can be rude, people can be nasty. It's if you ever want to really appreciate the quality of good manners, just be around people who don't have any. And that'll help you to appreciate people who do. Because you really notice when people don't have good manners. I can tell you, I pay very, very close attention to people who are rude, who are unpleasant, who tend to lack in any kind of manners as far as true social graces. And again, I'm going back to that definition I gave you in the first video of what manners is, which is kindness and respect. And that's what you see lacking in how people treat one another. They have a tendency to strike out at other people, to think that they have something superior to other people. And we have a culture that promotes this type of thinking. We blamed it on the whole Me Too generation. The whole that it all matters what happens to me, and it's my opinion, it's my feelings, it's what I want. And granted, that is a problem, and it always has been a problem. And there hasn't been any single generation who you could look at and say, yes, this generation was raised to think of themselves first. It is a natural part of the human condition to be selfish, to look at ourselves first and want what we want. The thing that may have been different is we've become more emboldened in our selfishness. Not that we've gotten more selfish, we just got more emboldened. Selfishness is just part of the human condition. We always tend to look out for number one first, and we think we are number one. And I'll tell you, the key to good manners is to understand you are not number one, that you are a servant to number one, and you are there to help others. And it's when we have an others focus rather than a me focus, then we can truly see some change that we desire to have happen in this world. And I'm going to talk more about that in our next video as we continue to talk about manners and our social structure. But for now, for the Growth Center, this is John Patrick Hickey, and I do want to encourage you to live your purpose and change your world.